Um, Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I missed you guys, and I know we've not been consistent. I know we've just had only two videos up, and trust me, I've been planning, and alongside with God, we've been working to make sure that you get this, and working. I'm working to make sure that I work in alignment with God's time and God's purpose and God's season. So before we resume feeling like fully, I want to thank God. I want to I want to share a testimony rather with you guys because you all are my family in Christ. You are my brethren, my friend. Yeah. So I think it's fun to edify the church too. Yeah. I first of all want to thank God for this revelation, or these insights I have had, and makes me feel so opportune, so privileged to stand before everyone, male, female, great, less, young, old. Um, I feel so privileged, like Peter was, to stand and be the one bringing you God's word. I am not ready to pull crowds. I am not ready for the challenge that will come with having a YouTube channel and being open to several critics and several people. I am not ready for that. I can't even be ready for that no matter how hard I try. I am just following in alignment with God, and I know that God is faithful, never to fail, will never fail, and He's always going to be my help and my source and my uncle. So having said that, I will be resuming back with a video, and trust me, God has a lot in stock for you. He has a lot that I haven't even fully digested. Not like I'm coming to tell you. I am not coming to teach. I am coming to share an insight that I have, and I am not saying that I understand the whole concept. I am saying that I'm going to allow the Holy Spirit teach me the part He wants to, so that I could say it to you, tell you guys, and please don't look at the fact that there's this young girl here, or I'm just when I don't know what my life is going to be like. Truth is, I may not know, but I have someone who knows my end from the beginning, right? So I'm here following God's will. I know I've said that countlessly, like I'm following God's plan for me. So I may not put crowd, but please, you don't necessarily have to subscribe. You just have to come and listen to what God has for you. If you're a youth, if you're a teenager, if you're a child, even a child, you're an adult, you still need to hear from God. Even if you have a very, 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 very sweet relationship with God, and you have a depth in which you have gotten, or you've climbed in heights in God, it may not necessarily add anything to you, but please do listen to this and stick to our channel, and expect more and more that is found in Jesus. Okay, so firstly, I told my siblings, I took the courage, told my siblings that okay, God told me to open a YouTube channel, and this is my plan for it, and this is what God has revealed for it, and this is what I am doing, and they agreed. My brother told me, if it's not going to disturb your academics, then sure, it's not going to disturb Nigerian. It's not going to disturb your academics. And I said, yes, it's 2020, don't get in the way. So she said, sure, I give you my support. And I was shocked. Before I even told him, my heart was beating. My family members, my aunties, my uncles, they found out and they were like, wow, more grace and more. And they kept on encouraging me, and I was like, wow. And my siblings, they just happen to be the best because we may not be perfect in our ways, but trust me, God has a reason for putting me into this family. I'll be in this family. So, they're the best. And you guys too are the best because you are part of my siblings in Christ. You're my brethren in Christ. So, you guys too are the best. So, I want to share this, quickly share his testimony, and that's it for today. Okay, so I was involved in an armed robbery attack. That was on the 9th of July. I was going somewhere. I don't want to put in details where I was going to, but I was going somewhere, and I decided to lessen my transport fare, just as Americans would enter or would jump a bus, right? I would enter a keke in Nigeria. Yeah. Get to a particular distance, enter to a particular place until I get to where I was going to. So I was going somewhere and I entered the keke, and I was having this trouble spirit within me, and I was wondering why. I was wondering why I was troubled. I looked around and there was nothing that was going to get me scared before the whole incident occurred. I just okay. To the best of my knowledge, I began to pray the word of God into existence. I began to prayerfully recite Psalm 91 and Psalm 23, and I just kept on praying it on, and I was like, you said you have given your angels charge over me to keep me in all my ways. And I kept on praying. I kept on saying that. I kept on saying that. And all of a sudden, I noticed that when I had nothing else to say from the Psalm 91 and Psalm 23, I was prayerfully like reciting. I started praying it on. I was sitting inside. I was in the midst of a Muslim man and the midst of someone else I did not know, and at the front with the um, driver, right? There was a passenger with him, and he looked like a Fulani man, right? So I just kept on praying. He wore a head warmer, yeah, head warmer, and he was just behaving funny. He was behaving strange. I was conscious of my I was conscious of where I was, like my surrounding. I just kept on praying and praying and praying. I didn't get into any conversation with anyone. I was, for at first I was praying in tongues in my heart, and I just changed that. I just began speaking, like, okay, let's say I was whispering tongues. Yes, that's the word. So I kept on praying and praying and praying and praying, and the burden was still there. It was there, and it was even more heavy. And I kept on praying and I kept on praying. And I was like, Jesus Christ, this is really deep. Like, what am I sensing? I couldn't sense what danger was. I couldn't sense anything, but I could feel that there was danger ahead. Like, I didn't know whether it was in there or outside. Outside, like probably when I would have dropped, or if God didn't want me to go at all. And I was wondering. I wasn't feeling this way when I was growing up. I wasn't. I was okay. I was happy. I was joyful. I was every. I was like expectant to go to where I was going to, and in peace. And I continued my journey. I Along the line, the car, I mean the keke. Sorry, the keke stopped, and it was having these issues where the driver has to go back and check his engine and come back, and many, and I was just noticing it was stopping and stopping and stopping, and I was like, okay, this is getting serious. And we boarded another keke because the man couldn't go on, so he stopped someone that was going, a free keke, and we all entered. But what I noticed was that the Fulani man left and entered the keke before us, so he left totally. And I was like, okay, maybe I should feel okay, because people who sat by my side looked, in my mind, or I don't know, they looked normal, pretty casual to me. So I I was still feeling this heavy burden. I kept on praying, I kept on praying. I was speaking in tongues, and all of a sudden, I don't know, I don't know where the thoughts came from, but I think it's, my spirit just whispered to God and said, God, if you would spare me, if you would spare me. And I was still praying in tongues, but my heart was saying, God, if you would spare me, if you would spare me, then if you would spare me. I didn't say anything apart from if you would if you would spare me. So we got to, and when the other man who sat by my side decided that he had gotten to his destination, he dropped, and two men entered. Yeah, one entered the front of the driver, and one sat by my side, and he greeted me good evening, and I was like, I just nodded my head because I didn't want to stop my prayer just to answer someone. So I noted to tell him, okay, yeah, I heard you, and I'm like a response saying good evening to, I don't know, Nigerian language, I don't know, maybe, or Nigerian, I won't call it, I don't know. So I went there, I continued praying. I noticed they had this, the ones that sat by my side had this um, authentic smell, right? Like, not like he was smelling, like he looks like he literally jumped into a bowl full of perfume. But the perfume was so offensive, like, but I tried to ignore it. I just threw my face to the other side and kept on praying and praying. And along the side, I felt him touching his lap, his like by the side of his lap, which was facing mine, something like that. And I was cautious. I was like looking at him, and I'll just shut my eyes and continue praying. So I don't know what happened at then. I was just thinking, okay, God, is he a rapist? Because he was acting for, when he noticed that I looked at him, he would cross, and I was like, is he a rapist? Is he an armed robber? Is he, or is he just shy? Maybe, or I don't know. I couldn't tell. So the keke man asked him, "You haven't told me. You haven't told me where you're going to." And he said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to a hospital within, like just in front." And the keke man said, "Okay," and he said, "She beats 15 naira, like in Nigeria, 15 naira." And the man was like, "Yes, sure, it's 15 naira." And he said, "Okay, no problem. We'll pay you. We'll pay you. Let's go." I spoke in pidgin. Yeah. So um, the keke man was going, and along the side, I was just noticing he was behaving strange and strange and strange and strange. And I was like, what is going on? And my burden was even more heavier than it was. Like, as if I should just leave. But I couldn't. So I just sat down. I kept on praying. And next thing I knew is that he said he was coming down. That was where he was stopping. And they dropped him. And I noticed that his friend, passenger at the front with the keke man, ran out immediately. And it was now him by my side. I just noticed he behaved like he was going to get money, and I was facing front. I wasn't looking at the side, and next thing I knew is that I held someone, like someone held my hands and pointed a dagger at me. Ah! And I was like, Jesus, 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 Jesus. That's why I kept on saying. I couldn't say please. I couldn't say help me. I couldn't say any other thing. I just kept on saying Jesus, Jesus. Like, I can't count how many times I said Jesus. Like, and I wasn't scared. Point is, I wasn't scared at that point. I didn't take note of um what if I died. I took note of what if I am not accepted. What if God doesn't find me worthy? If he succeeds in killing me, because he hasn't stated his purpose of holding me. He could literally just be a ritualist, or just someone who, for the fun of killing, someone likes killing. So I don't know. So I don't know why. I don't know what happened actually, but I know I kept on saying Jesus, And he was like, "Give me your bag." And I was, what I noticed was like, my bag. So okay, I registered the fact that that was what he needed. So I couldn't give him the bag at first. I was still holding onto the bag. Not like I wanted to fight with him, because there was no way I would have fought a man who held a dagger, like physically. I'm not talking of our spiritual help. I mean physically, right? Uh, I'm not skillful at that. So there was no way I would have done that. I just knew that all I could do was hold the knife. So I held it like by this side. Like I wrapped my hand around it so that just in case he ends up like hitting me with force, it won't. The first thing that would like I wouldn't have to feel the piercing of the knife at first. I would just feel my hand first at my chest area or something. That was what that was the wisdom that came to me at that point. Hello, not like I've gone through something like that. So please, I feel I should be justified for that. But anyways, I still kept on saying Jesus, 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 and he carried the bag. When he carried the bag, he was behaving a bit strange. Like he was, I don't know. There was no one because everyone had run out, and I couldn't run because someone held my hand. So there was no one that could probably come to kill him or arrest him or catch him or something. There was no one around where we were that would have gotten him. So, well, I just noticed he was still standing and behaving. I don't know whether he was contemplating whether he should kill me or not. I don't know. Only my father can tell. Yeah, only God can tell me. I'm here today. I'm unharmed. Hello, everybody. And God is faithful. I know he ran away. And I know that people have gone through worse things. I, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to pretend like I'm strong. I still have this phobia for going out, apart from being driven out by my family member or any of my siblings or someone that I can trust. I just have this fear, and I've prayed about it. I'm still praying about it, and I'm trying at some point to face my fears. Yeah, because someone wise told me that fear is only a mirage. Meaning, when you see it from afar, it looks like there's a pool of water. But when you get there, you find that there is nothing. It's not just that when you get there with God, you find that what you found to be so dangerous, what you found to be so pressing, what you found to be so what's the word I would use? I have no word. When you get there with God, you find out, oh, with God, all things, everything, every single thing is possible. And no matter how the storm is, he will ride on the storm. No matter how how mighty and firm the rock is, he will climb the rock and pass it just to get to you. So God will always be there with you. God is with me. God is with you. And trust me, God is faithful to 1,000 and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of more people who are faithful to Him. And He's not just faithful to those faithful to Him, but He knows love even to the unrepentant. And God loves you. God loves you. So this is my testimony. I truly ask that you help me in also thanking God. I shared it as a family. God saved me, and God will save you if you put in worse or even less situations than I was. God bless you. Enjoy your day.